Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast, your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the Stuff and Things podcast. I am Sam. Today we're discussing 2 episodes of Skeleton Crew. Joining me, going back to a galaxy far, far away, it's Stefan.
Hello there.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm okay. This is the first show of 2025. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, Happy New Year, listeners. Hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas and New Year time.
Yeah, me too.
I hope they're all like me, have absolutely no idea what day of the week it is.
No clue. So yeah, this is why we're doing 2 episodes. Episode 5 fell right at Christmas, so we kind of went, you know what? I think it'd be better to just wait a week. It's kind of funny because there's a few like YouTube channels and stuff that I follow that talk nerdy things and a few podcasts. And like I was thinking to myself, oh, should we do the show? You know, should we try and fit it in? And then I realised everyone was pausing. I felt a lot better after that. I felt loads better.
Far too much food and alcohol consumed during that time to try and podcast.
Yes. Yeah. It's a weird time of year because we're recording this and the show will go out today as well, actually. We're recording it the day it's going out. So it is the 4th of January. So we're kind of 4 days into the new year. And it's a weird, like I always think of this like this weird kind of phase of you're sort of going back to work. Some people are already at work and stuff, but you still got little bits like left over. Like there's a few biscuits left in the biscuit tins from Christmas. You know, there's the kids got given selection boxes and there's bits left, and you're like, oh, I should really start the new year a new diet, but I just finished this box of biscuits.
Terry's chocolate orange and tubs of Twiglets. Yep.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. That's the way to go. So this is Star Wars Skeleton Crew. We're going to be discussing episodes 5 and 6. So let's open up discussing episode 5. And the title of that episode was...
You have a lot to learn about pirates.
Or in Pirate, you have a lot to learn about pirates. Arr.
Either or, as Smee would say. Yes.
Yeah. Talk like a pirate, talk like me, basically. I will just say, as an apology, I have got a Christmas, New Year stinking cold. So, I'm going to edit out coughing as best I can. Anything that makes it in, and if I sound a bit nasal, apologies. So, just getting that out of the way. It's funny, actually. It's like a reversal. It was like you that was like sick for like 20 podcasts in a row, and now it's going to be me.
I know, it's a nice reversal. Not for you, but for me. I actually feel all right at the moment.
Yeah, oh, well.
Touch wood. Touch all the wood.
That was a total jinx. I can't believe you just said that. Okay, so the cold open to the show is actually with the parents of the kids. Now, obviously the show's been focused on the kids in the adventure, which it should be, but I did find it kind of interesting back on At-Attan because we've discussed it a number of times, like, something's weird. Like, it's off. Like, this whole society doesn't feel very free and happy. It feels like a bit oppressed. And what's your thinking on the kind of these scenes? Because it's like the parents are almost having to go rogue, having to go kind of against the rules to try and find a way to get a communication out to look for their children. They're also still saying about like the Republic, etc. We know as the audience that the kids, for example, are completely sheltered, didn't even know about the Clone Wars, let alone the rebellion in the Empire. So what's your thoughts on these opening scenes with the parents?
I like the fact it was Nell's kind of relatives that come up with the whole, look, use this device, plug it in and get out there. And I'm like, yes, Nell has much to learn, bless him.
You mean Neil?
Neil. Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying Nell. I've been doing this the whole time, and I realised. Anyway, yeah.
That's right. It's good. Star Wars fans are brilliant when you say names wrong.
I know, it's fantastic. Wait till hear me talk about Win. It's fine. No, yeah, I like it. The whole having to go secret and plugging devices in to try and then the droid like instantly picking up on it.
Yeah.
Like what's behind your back? Nothing.
That scene. Yeah. Anyone who's got kids has been there. Like, okay, what you got behind your back? Nothing.
Yeah. Instant role reversal.
Yeah. Have you had chocolate? No. Yeah. Like, well, what's all around your face? Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't me.
So yeah, I mean, it was kind of funny. I mean, it was kind of funny, but also looking into it a bit more, as us nerdy podcasters should. There is something very wrong with that society.
Yeah, there's a different underlay of why, like, who is controlling these people?
Yeah.
Like, why is it so secretive? Why are they hidden behind the barrier? Why are the droids have got so much power?
Do you feel, having watched more now, episodes 5 and 6, without detailing anything on 6 yet, your theory is holding up? Do you feel that, because you discussed it on our last episode, do you feel that you're more convinced of it, or are you wavering?
No, I'm still fairly convinced that the whoever owns or rules At-Attan is going to be a bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're probably right. I think we can go a step further. I'm starting to think, because one of the things that's not really clear is how long ago this pirate captain went off looking for At-Attan. It must have been a long time. That ship was like buried in Earth. Like stuff had grown over it.
It's been there a while.
SM-33 was not in a good way, and it kind of feels to me that like this captain went off and kind of took over. There is the supervisor. Well, who is this supervisor? Yeah. So that's
it all kind of depends as well. Like, we don't know fully what race this captain originally was.
No.
So is he still alive and, like 812 years old or something? Or are we going to find that, it is more kind of like his relatives?
Yeah, and even the hologram, which we see later on, is blurred. So we don't... And that's obviously on purpose. They're obviously anticipating the reveal to be kind of a big deal. So, yeah. How would you feel, or how would you kind of react if one of the parents of the kids actually is revealed to be the supervisor, the kind of in league, is in the know, and is currently just playing along with like the other parents?
Oh, that'd be a fun twist.
That would be a reveal, wouldn't it? That'd
be quite fun. Yeah, it's actually, yeah, one of the parents just kind of sat there going, well, I tried to get you to kind of, back off, but you wouldn't.
Yeah. So
I said trust the droids. It's because I was directing them. I told you to listen. Yeah, interesting.
So that'd be interesting. So we have those things with the parents. So that was good, kind of showing us what's going on back on At-Attan and keeping me very much intrigued about that place. On the ship, Wim's upset. Now, I think one of the things the show's done quite well is each of the kids at different times has had a kind of, this is tough. I think the thing with Wim is, in this moment, it's like he just wants to go home, because I think it's kind of hit him like, I always wanted to go on an adventure, and this kind of sucks.
Yeah,
I just want to go
this
home.
Is not what I signed up for.
Exactly, yeah. And I think at his age, I think kids, I think it's a very natural kind of thing to be a little bit upset, and he's sat on the floor, he's got his like story thing. Now, we talked a little bit about Jod just not being able to communicate with kids. Like, clearly has no parental thing at all. He, like, talks to them like they should just know what he wants. The best example was with the food. Made himself some food. They're all starving looking at him. He's like, well, there's more in the pot. What more do you want? God.
I made it. Go eat it.
Yeah. So it's just kind of like, whereas anyone with any parental instinct would be like, okay, kids, have you eaten? Any of you need to go to the toilet before we get off the ship? Anyone? I mean, you've got 3 kids. How many times do you find yourself saying that sentence?
Oh, far too often. Never, ever go to the toilet before we get off the spaceship.
No, exactly. They're bloody kids. So, Wim's upset. The reason why I'm highlighting this scene, we've got a lot of discussion about who is Jod, what is Jod's background. We know Jod is able to use the Force.
Yes.
He's utilised it a few times, and he's done it now where we know it's not a little bit of fluke. We know it's not tricks. We know he is utilising the Force. Obviously, there's like, could he have been a Jedi youngling, you know, a Padawan that escaped? There's lots of theories it could have been, because his age would work for that. And also, like we've learned, there were loads of Jedi out and about in the galaxy. You know, just because Order 66 doesn't mean that all of them were around Coruscant at the time and got slaughtered. So you could have escaped, but the reason why I'm leaning towards that again now, or the reason why it feels like there's some sort of Jedi training there, is when he's talking to Wim, he basically quotes the like Jedi mantra about attachment. Did you pick up on that?
Do you know what? I didn't.
Yeah, he says to him about, because Wim's upset, like, oh, I miss my dad and everything like that, and he says to him, well, you know, missing your parents and everything like that, these are attachments. You need to, like, get rid of them.
It does. No, yeah, you're right.
But he also then directly quotes Qui-Gon Jinn from The Phantom Menace, where he says your focus is, you know, affects your reality. It is a direct line that Qui-Gon says to Anakin, young Anakin.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun little Easter egg thrown in there, but also I think it's on purpose, in the sense of, I think this is clearly something Jedi Masters would say to apprentice. Like, this is something that is Jedi doctrine, something that is passed on.
He has been taught that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like I said, he seems to be unable to communicate with kids, doesn't seem to have an understanding of parental responsibility at all, and he then is like quoting like Jedi almost text. He can use the Force. What I'm kind of intrigued about, or the thing that keeps playing on my mind of like, I know for a fact that, oh, he was a Jedi and we've got an Order 66 survival story, a lot of the fan base will roll their eyes, like collectively, because there's this feeling in the fan base of like, not every show needs a Jedi that survived Order 66. I get it, like, it doesn't bother me. Like,
yeah, I understand what they're saying, but then at the same time we go back to the whole, if it's good storytelling,
yeah,
and it's a good show, I'm not that worried about it as long as it's done the right way.
It doesn't bother me at all, but I did think of like an interesting, I don't know if you call it twist or an interesting kind of slant, because anyone, you know, your age, anyone who's brought up, so he's obviously trained enough that he can use the Force naturally and do it purposefully. He obviously later on in this episode ignites a lightsaber with expertise, unlike Wim.
Yes.
It is kind of interesting to me that he then went to piracy, and as this episode shows, is a full-on pirate. Like, he isn't just like, this was my way of hiding, no one would find me here, I just feed into the... He became a captain. He shows a nasty side in this episode. So it's just kind of intriguing to me that I can't draw the line. I can't draw the line from Jedi to that.
I'm wondering if maybe, you know how like the Jedi used to go around and we've seen pretty much almost kidnap kids that have got Force abilities. I wonder if this character came from that background.
Yeah.
Was taken from that background, and then when it all went to hell, kind of went, hey, I know where I can go.
Yeah.
And kind of walked back and going, and when people kind of question him, go, well, do you not remember I was the son of this pirate? and he was the son of that pirate, and that's kind of how he got himself back.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because the other thing that keeps happening in this is you are constantly hearing different names for him.
Yes.
And it's funny, it is funny, oh my god, no one knows him as the same person. But if you're in hiding, Order 66 happened and you are staying on the move, you are scared, that's what you do.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I have noticed that. Every person that says to him a different name, I am thinking each time going, he clearly, every planet, different identity. Make it hard to trace him. Make it hard to find him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that was kind of pieced together. I was like, okay.
Yeah. It's just interesting because in addition to Jedi, there are Force sensitive and Force users who were around the Order. They were sort of, I can't remember the term, and I know it's going to piss people off, but they were palace guards, guardians there. But also, the Emperor, when the Empire came along, he had Force sensitive, they were called the Crimson Guard, the red cloaks.
Yes. Yep.
And I just kind of, in my head, I'm kind of that'd be interesting. He was one of them. But then I don't know if the age would work. I don't know. It's just... Are we barking up the wrong tree, so to speak? We're going with Jedi, yeah.
And actually we should be going, oh, maybe he's from the dark side.
Yeah, because they were a lot of the younglings were turned into the Inquisitors and stuff like that. So could have gone that way. Obviously, like I said, we talk about that scene. They turn Smee back on after kind of making sure he's, kind of funny. They tie him down, but they do a memory bypass, turn him back on. What did you think of that scene where Smee's coming back online?
I like Smee. I like Smee as a character. So any scene with Smee in it is instantly better. I like Smee.
Yeah, we know it's SM33, by the way. We're just calling him Smee, just for anyone just tuning in.
New into it, yeah. No, I like the fact as well at the end when he's given his orders, he just sits up, breaks the ropes, and walks off, and they're like, "Oh no!"
that made me smile.
Think that they've got him tied down, and they're going to be safe because he's bound to the table. Go do this. All right, then up he gets, no problem at all. It's like, oh god.
So we learn about Captain. Is it Tate Renaud?
Renaud, yeah.
Yeah, Renaud, and he has a lair. So they're going to make their way to the lair. Again, thinking about the amount of time that's passed, the lair is now a pleasure holiday destination for the galaxy.
That cracked me up.
Yeah, and
when all the kids are like, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And SM33 is like, what have they done?
They've ruined it. Yeah, this used to be for death. This is where we throw people in to kill them and boil them alive. We then meet a character who's a bounty hunter called Pocket, played by Kelly MacDonald. This was completely random to me, in full makeup. Kelly MacDonald, for younger people, would be the voice of Merida from Brave. She's been in loads of things, most famously for me in Boardwalk Empire. She was incredible in that. But yeah, the voice of Merida from Brave is a bounty hunter called Pocket. So that was
quite fun.
Yeah, that was quite fun. But again, like you said, a whole other name. They are hunting for clues at this place, and it reminded me of Indiana Jones quite a lot. Now, we all know...
when they're going through the tunnels, and it's all the booby traps, and definitely... Yeah.
You know, there's actually a moment in this, and I wasn't sure if I was right, but a few people have clipped it, and I've seen it since, so I was. When they finally open up this kind of room, the treasure room, it actually plays an Indiana Jones style bit of music. And then the funniest thing is, if in the background you take a look, the Ark of the Covenant sat on the floor.
No way.
In the treasure room, back right, Ark of the Covenant sat there. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, it's quite funny. I mean, yeah, anyone wants to watch it again, take a look. As you're looking at the scene, they come into the room, and right at the very back, you can see it there. The first sign to me of Jod having this nasty side to him was with the booby traps in the acid, and he tells SM-33, because they're being pursued by the pirates, to fill it back up with acid.
Yeah, that was kind of a bit of an eye-opening moment, wasn't
Yeah.
it? That was like because he didn't even think twice about it.
Nope.
It was like, oh, they're at the door, they're trying to break in. Yeah, fill it with acid.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay. That's, I think even the kids kind of all just look at
Well,
it
everyone,
like,
yeah. Like, I mean, obviously the droid just cracks on because, he's a pirate droid, but everyone there just kind of looked at him like, oh shit. Like, that was, oh dear. The other thing that then happens is we get confirmation of something me and you discussed, which is, what are these old planets? Why were they so, sought after? Why were they made to be lost? And it's official. At-Attan is the last Old Republic mint. They literally made the money there.
which opens up for a pirate, that opens up a lot of doorways.
Oh, done it. But instantly he learns it, and instantly he turns on the kids.
Yeah, like no second thought at all. That was like the last mint treasure. Okay, bye kids.
Yeah, I challenged the captain. Well, what were you thinking during this scene? Because I was caught off guard. I think I said to you, like, that really threw me. Like, that was a twist I had in my mind this show's kind of like it's an adventure story, and he's a bit of a lovable rogue. And the next thing you know, he's basically saying, if you don't submit, I'm going to hurt you. Don't make me hurt you.
Yeah, say yield so I don't have to hurt you. Say yield and I won't hurt you. I don't want to hurt you. And then when she kind of doesn't yield, he like the knife to the throat, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, this escalated quickly. That obviously leads to me anyway, I think you had a different view on this, which I was a little bit sad about. One of the funniest, most kid-like things that could ever happen is Wim summons his bravery. He spots in this treasure room an old lightsaber. He knows what it is. He's seen the stories. Yep. He's seen the stories. He knows that this is a lightsaber. So he summons up his courage. He picks it up. He steps forward with the blade, and he ignites it the wrong way round, and nearly cuts his nards off. He gives himself his own bar mitzvah, and he I know that's the wrong term, by the way, it's a joke, and it's thrown across the room, and I cracked up because I thought that was the most typical I'm gonna be brave moment, and it cocks up, and I thought that was hilarious. You didn't like it?
I facepalmed a bit on this, and I think purely because if it had been either of the other three characters, I think I would have laughed.
Okay.
The fact that even in this episode earlier on, we saw him back with the tablet reading the stories about the Jedi and stuff.
Yeah.
When he's upset reading the stories, it would be like I'm trying to think of how to put it, basically, but he should know what that he knows it's a lightsaber.
Yeah.
So how, if he has all this knowledge and reads all these stories, does he not know what the bottom and the top of a freaking lightsaber looks like?
Well, I seriously doubt in any of the stories, certainly not in the scenes we've seen he's looked through, there's hey everybody, this is a lightsaber, this is how you hold it, this is this end, this is the button you press. He's obviously just seen the story, and you're right, I mean,
like one end is solid metal, the other end has a hole for a laser to come out.
Well, yeah, but don't get me wrong. I get
this character has been mentioned so many times to have Jedi 1, Jedi 2, and like this all like fanboying.
But don't you just think that that's actually probably how it would go though? Like, you can be a fanboy of stuff. It don't mean you're good at it. It don't mean you know what you're gonna do. Like, I like watching people do karate. I couldn't do any of that shit.
No, but you know what your foot is for a kick and what your hand is for a kick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, granted. but of course you know what they are. But you know, you're acting like he's been around lightsabers his whole life. That's the first one he's ever touched, and he's also stressed out. He's also building himself up, all worried. he's walked forward like trembling, like I'm gonna fire up this lightsaber and I'm gonna save the day. And yeah, he's got it out the wrong way round. It just
Yeah, no, I've seen a few people online, and it does seem to be I am in the minority on this. I understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, I was just like, so you're the one out of the whole group that's meant to know about Jedi.
Yeah. I just think you don't like him.
Oh, he does annoy me. I'll put my hands up and admit that he annoys me. But on this scene, I was just like, this one just felt a bit silly. Like, it just felt like, he is the one out of the four that knows about the Jedi stuff.
Yeah.
Don't make him look an idiot by doing it upside down. Like, if it had been Neil or something, you could have gone, oh, yeah, his best mate knows all about Jedi. He's kind of on board with it, having a bit of a laugh with it. That would have been funny because, he's like, oh, look at me. Ah, crap. Yeah. But, yeah, he was the one character that was meant to know about it. So, for me, that was just a little bit of a facepalm. Agree
to disagree, my friend. I think you're being overly harsh. So, the kids obviously have this situation. She does yield. So, SM-33 now has a new captain in his kind of directive. He orders, Jod orders him to put the kids under arrest. And at that point, Wim then realizes they've got that escape hatch, which they noticed earlier. So he hits the button and the four kids go down like this slide to get the hell out of there. We then see the episode end with Jod using the Force to grab the saber to hit the ground. He ignites it as the show fades to black. So, episode 5...
was a brave move to go down that trapdoor. In my head, I'm like, Jesus, that was brave. Like, that could have led to anywhere.
Well, you're right, it could lead to anywhere, but it's like...
Oh.
I've always had this weird thing with stuff like this, because I completely understand, like, in moments, you never know how you're going to react until you're in it. And there's situations in my life that have happened that you sort of look at afterwards and you're like, wow, I always thought I'd react differently, or in my head I would have been braver, or whatever. Wish I'd said this, or I should have done this.
Oh, yeah.
And you sort of do that quite a lot. Now, I've always had this thing, like, there's a TV show at the moment that I'm watching, which is all about World War II, and in it, there's a guy who's been captured, and he's basically about to be executed. They're taking him to be shot. And I've always thought to the back of my head, I completely understand this stoic bravery, and it's admirable, but if they're going to kill me anyway, I'm going to fight. Like, why am I just going to walk there with these two guards? I'm going to fight them, make them kill... Like, if you're going to kill me anyway, I'd rather die fighting to try and escape than just stand there and get shot.
Yeah.
And so it's like, in that kind of situation, I kind of attributed the same thing. It's like, Judge just threatened to kill what's-her-name, hurt them. He held a knife to her throat. You got to believe in that moment he would do it. And now the droid that's like rip 'em limb from limb only an episode ago, and Jod stopped him. He's now working for Jod, and he's told the droid to put you in prison. You don't know what's going to happen. So to me, it's kind of like take my chances escaping, or I'm screwed.
Oh, no, I completely agree with you. It was just the whole, that could have led to anything. So for me, that was a bigger bravery moment than like the lightsaber was. Yeah. That was kind of like a hit that get us out of it. Anything could there could have been the acid under there. It could have been spikes. It could have been something that was going to eat you alive. It could have been anything. But he's like, no, let's just get out of it. Yeah, no, and it is an escape hatch. I think with me, I think I thought of it as an escape hatch initially anyway. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I thought of it as a booby trap when I first saw it. Yeah, no, you had to lean on it to get to the stuff. Yeah, no. And I was like, oh, booby trap. But yeah. Yeah, but I mean, it does take them out. It takes them out, and they are okay. So we go into episode 6 now, and the title of the episode was... Zero Friends Again. Yeah, bless. This episode is... I mean, it's obviously very different to the one previously, and it for me in this one, it kind of focuses on the relationships a little bit, and kind of gives us a little bit of grounding, and I liked it. I liked the fact that we kind of had these moments, because there were little things in it which I really quite enjoyed. So we'll talk through it, but the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to talk about Jod in this episode before we focus on the kids.
Jod escapes from this lair covered in jewelry and gold and everything. He gets back up to the surface, and the townspeople are there, like the people from this resort. He's like,
look at him like, what the fuck?
yeah, and he's like, hey, I'm leaving now. Get my ship ready. Not realizing,
I'd like to leave now, thank you.
yeah, not realizing stood behind him is the pirates he was trying to run from. He takes them. He orders Smee to attack them, and Smee gets stunned straight away. So that was a waste of time. I did laugh that Smee was wearing a tiara, and that fell off when he got stunned. That amused me. But yeah,
I like how quickly as well. Like 33, get them, and it's like literally one shot down. Nope. Okay.
No, nothing you can do.
Like,
so they get taken. We have this. He's put to death. So the guy who took over from him, like basically mutinied against him, is now the captain, and he's like, "Yeah, I sentenced you to death by airlock." Not nice.
Not the death I would want, I must be honest. Like, that is not going to be fun.
No.
Airlock is, that's not a nice one.
He invokes, like, the pirate code, and he's allowed to talk to, like, put his side across, like, his kind of rebuttal, putting his side forward.
But I think it wasn't him that actually did it, was it? It was the woman at the back kind of did it for him.
Yeah, so obviously there's a few people there who are still like him, obviously, amongst the crew. He then delivers a monologue. I mean, Jude Law is obviously very good, but the character then delivers a monologue that you're like, oh, wow. And he has the whole pirate crew eaten out of his hand by the end of it. I'm hungry. I can't remember the last time I wasn't hungry. The whole speech is just like, are you hungry? Well, yeah, it's like and there's never enough, is there? There's never enough. Those bastards on high have got everything, and we're down here, and we don't. We got to take it. And what if I could tell you, you'd have enough to, start the farm you always wanted. Like, he knows the people, so he's like picking up on the things he knows they want. And he goes.
I was half expecting him to break into "I Have a Dream" from Tangled.
Oh, that was no, that's brilliant. That's a great analogy.
It was brilliant. I was like literally telling the pirates and the bandits, but I've always wanted a farm. Well, I can get you a farm. And what have you ever wanted to do? I just want to be a concert pianist.
No, that's a fantastic analogy. No, I'm with you on that. Yeah, I loved it. But it works. It absolutely works. And the new captain basically grabs him. Is like, obviously knows the crew are now on side. And he's like, all right, we're going to At-Attan, but if it isn't what you say it is, I'm going to kill you. And
he's kind of like, I wouldn't say he's off the hook. Let's put it that way.
No, not at all. What do you think to that then? Because obviously he wanted to jump in the ship and go to At-Attan, him and Smee. He's now taking this whole crew with him. Yeah, I mean, because At-Attan doesn't appear to... I mean, there's a lot of droids there, but it doesn't appear to be set up really to defend itself. But yeah, I don't know. It's going to be interesting, that. I don't know where that's going to go.
Yeah, that's one that has got me very intrigued. Like, I am proper intrigued as to where, like, him on his own with Smee, kind of SM-33, going in there and almost like rogue operation themselves to get the money, as much money as possible, and then fly off into space, never to be seen again, but absolutely loaded.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Now that he's got to take an entire pirate crew with him, like, that's not going to go down as easy and as well as a sneak operation. So that's going to lead to something quite big, I'm assuming.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued how that's going to go. Back to the kids then.
They are now kind of. Oh, this was quite fun. I liked this. So the kids on the beach, where they kind of finally have that bit of a, we'll split up and go in our own groups then, because that was quite a fun. I quite enjoyed that.
Yeah, I liked it. I mean, they have their friendship groups, KB and Fern, women, Neil. And they've divided. And I also love the fact that Fern's like, come on, Neil. And Neil's like, oh, okay. I'll go with her
He's
then.
basically doing whatever the person that speaks the loudest tells him to do.
Yeah, bless you, Neil. You are a hero to all of us. I couldn't initially understand why KB was being a bit off. I was a bit like, I know she had the, like, I didn't want to go down in the steam vents and stuff like that, and I knew her augments and stuff, and I was kind of, don't really follow it, but as the episode developed, and she gave that explanation to Wim, I really liked that. Like, I really, really enjoyed the fact that it was like they're a group of friends, and it was just like a natural, you know, she's had some accident, which is why she has these augments. She has to have them. Like, this wasn't like a choice.
Yeah, see, that was the bit that kind of got me most intrigued.
Yeah.
I'm like, so what is, like, I was aware she was humanoid as far as I was concerned, but then when she has like all these robotics in the back of her head, you kind of go, how humanoid are you?
Well, it's like, is this actually a cultural thing? Like, is she from a planet where this is what you do? You know, this is how you look. So
I'm very intrigued to see if we're going to get more information on that. Like, I want to know, more about her character.
Yeah, and I think this episode did a really good job, and the young actors did a really good job because, like you, but not to the extent of you, I find Wim annoying. I find his character, but I don't think that's an actor. I think that his character's designed to be that annoying, yappy, like, oh, I'm going to do this, but actually is unable to do anything by himself.
Oh, he is like, for me, I know this is going to sound awful, so I'm going to word this very, very carefully.
Okay.
I believe the reason Wim annoys me is because he's almost identical in some of the things he does to my son.
Good God, man, back off.
Like, I've got to be careful I do this, but like, in a sense of, you know, like the whole don't touch anything. Whatever you do, don't touch anything. And I guarantee you, I turn around and my boy's got something in his hands.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those. So it's not like Wim doesn't annoy me because my son annoys me. Wim annoys me because I'm just like, I just constantly want to be telling him off almost. Like, he's like, I told you not to touch anything. Why is it in your hand?
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah.
You know, and I think that's the thing with Wim, because there's so much like, my boy gets like absolute obsessed on things. So like, you know, Minecraft and that sort of thing. And like, he is obsessive and he knows everything about it and he's always questioning you about it.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of like Wim and the Jedi.
Yeah.
Like, he is obsessed on it, and like that is what his obsession is.
Yeah.
So I think there's just these little similarities where I just want to tell him off. I'm just
it makes sense.
Listen, kid, you've got all the ability there. Just stop being an idiot and do this and this.
Well, he in this was the scene, like, for me, and I think I mentioned this to you. I felt he had a couple of really great scenes in episode 5 where he's upset and Jod speaks to him. And I felt this scene when he's trying to help, because there's just a little line. He's helping her with augments. She's like talking him through how to do it, and she's kind of in a bad way. And he's doing it, and she says, like, you know, I don't want Fern to Fern needs to realise I can't do all the things I used to do, all the things she can do. But at the same time, I also don't want to admit that, because then I'll have 0 friends again. And it's just this sweet, lovable line where he's like, no, you won't, because you've got me and Neil. And and the kid delivers it in this total innocent way of like, why would you think that? Like, you've got 2 friends right here. And you can see, like, she smiles, like this realization of, oh, wow. Yeah, thank you. And it's just such a sweet, because kids, like adults and stuff, you can get all these things and all these misconceptions, and so much of the world can corrupt your viewpoint on stuff. Sometimes just taking it back to kids, they don't see race, gender, whatever, augmented, you know, using it in this. It's
Yes, they just see the people in front of them. Like, there's a thing like the whole innocence of children.
Yeah.
Like, as a grown up, you learn when to and when not to say things, or how to approach something in a certain way.
Yeah.
Kids is very black and white. So I can actually give a fun and quick example. So yesterday, my wife invited a load of the kids' school friends round.
Yeah.
And they're all playing around. It's all fun. They're all playing. And one of the eldest daughters, her friend, wanted a sleepover.
Yeah.
And so it was like, not tonight. No, we've got stuff going on. You can't tonight. Maybe tomorrow night.
Yeah.
But we're only speaking to one. There's 4 girls there.
Yeah.
We're talking about one. So we've said, look, we'll talk to your parents and maybe tomorrow night have a sleepover.
Yeah.
Now, as a grown up, something like if you're planning to go out somewhere with a mate and you've got 4 mates there, you're not going to stand in front of all your mates and go, oh, but tomorrow we're doing this.
No.
Because as a grown up, you know. Whereas this girl walked straight into the room and went, oh, yeah, so tomorrow night when we have that sleepover in front of all the other kids.
Yeah.
Because it's that innocence of children. They don't realise that they've just put our foot in it, their foot in it, and everyone else's foot in it.
Yeah.
Because to them, that's just how it is. That's just, we have discussed this, so therefore that's a discussion we can have.
Yeah.
And it's that beautiful innocence of children sort of thing. And I think that is something this show has done at times absolutely perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like the whole innocence of, in the last episode, women are just kind of like, I've always wanted an adventure.
Yeah.
Now he's got an adventure and he's like, I do not want this adventure.
Yeah, this sucks. Yeah.
Yeah, this sucks. I just wanted to go into the woods and find something cool and then go home and be like, hey, look what I found.
Exactly.
That's what I wanted. And now I'm like thousands of miles away from home being chased by pirates. And I'm like, I don't want this. This sucks.
Oh, it is,
There's so much that in this, which I think is absolutely brilliant.
Another scene in this episode, which is, just want to kind of highlight, is when the, earlier on, the X-Wings show up.
They're the good guys.
Yeah, and it's the realization of, oh crap, I was firing on them before. They're the good guys in this. And again, it's part of that. They were listening to Jod. Jod's telling them to do this, and now they're not like now they're growing up. It's like a kind of, oh crap, now I've realized Jod isn't a good guy. They clearly are the good guys. Oh, whoops.
Yeah, maybe that owl lady was telling the truth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So was every. Now, this is another thing that made me laugh, is that every single person they've met.
Yeah.
Don't trust Jod. Jod's a bad guy.
Yeah.
Don't trust Silvo. Silvo's a bad guy. Don't trust, was it Dash, I think he was called in the last episode?
Yeah. Every name
Yeah, every name. Don't trust him. He's not a good guy.
No.
And the whole way through, again, that whole innocence of childhood, they're like, but he's our mate. He helped us. He saved us. He's a good guy. It's fine. And then in that episode, the end of the last episode, beginning of this episode, you kind of feel like they're all going, there was a lot of people that told us.
It was a lot of people. The thing with that, again, is like, as an audience member, everyone would say the same thing about Han Solo. Don't trust him. Don't trust it. Every single person would say the same about him. So I've just been like, oh, he's going to be a lovable rogue. He's a lovable rogue. Oh, no, he's an ass. Oh, okay. All right.
Oh my God, Jod's one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, it's like, and I'm like, in fairness, they have been telling me every week not to trust this guy. And I've been like, yeah, it's right. It's like Han Solo, isn't he? It's fine. Oh, shit. No, it's not. So I'm as naive as the kids, it would appear. We do get this split, like you said, the 2 teams of 2. Beautiful moment where Wim does help KB, and she's fine, and she says to him, like, you saved my life. And she says it in this really cute, you think
you'd be more excited about saving a life, and then just walks off.
Yeah,
like,
and
okay.
I mean, it was lovely. It just like that, the whole interaction between those two, all of it was just really lovely. And it was nice in the episode to just kind of, there wasn't a lot you had to kind of sit back and really grind your brain to get your head around. It was just all laid out really nicely. Fern and that realised that the ship's been taken. It's a hunk of junk, and I think the people there have just gone to scrap it.
Yes.
What did you think to the scene? Like, so the two of them have followed these little creatures that have basically using like spare parts as shells, and
Do
they
you know what? It took me way longer than I realised it should have done to realise they're just hermit crabs.
oh really did it?
It took me, I'm like, oh my god, crab droids, that's awesome. And it was only when I kind of saw a bigger selection of like one's using a leg.
Yeah.
I suddenly went, duh, they're not crab droids, they're just bloody hermit crabs.
And they just basically grabbed whatever from like this
From the scrapyard.
Yeah,
I
from
was
the
like, for God's
scrapyard.
sake, I should have worked that out.
And then we get to like this massive one of them, which, if we're going to go back to Disney films analogies like you did with Tangled earlier on, this is very much Moana.
Isn't it just because I'm shiny? In his
like,
case, he's rusty. Yeah.
Yeah, rusty. Yeah. And so they get saved in air quotes by Fern and Neil kind of hijacking these things that are taking their ship to be scrapped. I say air quotes because kind of saved. Well, they do save them, but it's not like, you know, out of the fire permanently. Now the ship is getting scrapped, and they all run on the ship to try and save it. KB's like a hero because obviously I think due to her augments as well, she can sort of remember everything. And she's like, okay, firing up the ship, and she can also remember the coordinates to At-Attan, which is helpful.
Yeah.
But this kind of machine that's destroying everything has got the ship in a grip. Like Wim fires up the laser turret and he can't do anything. I think he describes it as it's too invincible, which cracked me up.
The proper kid line.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a very kid line. Like, oh my god, it's just too invincible. Yeah, brilliant. Love it. It was like he was playing a video game. And then I remembered there was that button you do not push. And he said it explodes the hull. And I was like, well, they're obviously... And they start talking about it then, like, we've got to push the button. I did not... Like, I'm thinking to myself, well, there's no way you can escape with that ship now, because it's, like, punched a hole in it. Like, this thing's gripped it, like, biting into it.
Yeah.
And they hit the button, and basically what it appears is this whole outer shell of the ship was bullshit. It was like to try and make it look like a beaten down, crappy freighter of some sort. But in reality, the actual ship that they're on is actually a pretty sleek looking ship. It's like blasts out.
Claims he's on the new ship.
Yeah. Brilliant.
So in that scene, I was fully expecting, like, you know, maybe the cockpit.
Yeah.
To eject off of it like an escape pod.
Yeah.
That's the sort of thing I was expecting, you know. Maybe the cockpit and a little tiny bit of the ship are sectioned off, and it's like going to be like almost like an escape pod blasting away from the ship.
Yeah.
It's fully what I expected. When this whole new, like, really nice ship just appears.
Yeah, it like birthed it. It was weird. It was like basically escaping from the ass of the old one. But I liked it because also very pirate-like. You kind of hiding your ship, making it look a bit beaten down and everything, so people wouldn't necessarily run from it. But actually, the thing's a badass. And so
it's like wearing a sleeve.
Yeah, in essence, yeah. And then, yeah, like pulling off your sleeve, it's got the gun show. Way, check it out. So yeah, it was mad. The ship then blasts off, and obviously we now know, in addition to the pirates heading to At-Attan, the kids are heading back to At-Attan as well. We have, I believe, 2 episodes left. Yeah,
there's 2 left now.
Yeah.
How is this going to go? Is it going to be a case of the next episode, we're going to kind of get them both getting to At-Attan, loads of action, and then the last episode is going to be the conclusion?
Yeah, like the prologue.
Or do you reckon we're going to have a bit of a journey episode for 7, 8 is everything happening, and then, oh, wait, I wonder if we're going to get a second season?
Yeah,
like, I wonder how it's going to go.
Because the guy who's made the show has not been shy. John Watts about he'd like to do more. Like, he believes this is a show that could run. Like, not just like a... Because, like, the Obi-Wan series and stuff like that, it's like, it's telling a specific story. Here it is. You know, if someone come along with another specific story, they do a season 2, but they've kind of done it and it's done. Whereas this is designed, like the methodology in that other show is designed that you can continue it potentially. But saying that, they are all heading to At-Attan, which is the kind of end point to the show.
Yeah.
From a point of view of unanswered things, what the hell's going on at At-Attan's a big thing we'd like to understand. The kids obviously being reunited with their families is obviously a conclusion that's needed. I'd like to understand Jod. Who is Jod? Is Jod the real name? Which one of these names are any of the names real? Is he gonna, like, at the very end of it, be like, oh, actually, my real name's Obi-Wan Kenobi, and we as the audience are gonna be like, no, it's not, you son of a, you know.
Yeah.
And
I am Qui-Gon. Wait a minute,
yeah,
no, you're not.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, I am Anakin Skywalker. No one knows. Because, of course, at this point in the galaxy, not everyone will have known he became Vader. But anyway.
I am Dave Skywalker,
Yeah.
cousin of. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, God, could you imagine? Jeez. Could you imagine the fan base just melting down? My daughter's called Ray. Oh, my God. There needs to be a conclusion to that as well. There's a lot there to kind of wrap up, and is there a way of redeeming Jod, like him turning on the kids like that, and in essence was willing to leave him? I mean, he did say capture him. He didn't say just like leave him here, but he was obviously quite content when they hit the escape route to just go grab the ship and leave.
Yep.
Is there
He wasn't worried about going to find them and taking them home.
No, is there a redemption? Is there a kind of, could the pirates threaten the kids and him make a choice between the treasure and the kids, and he picks the kids to save them?
I just don't see him doing it now. That's
No,
the thing.
no, that's like, surely because like his whole deal was like, I'll get you back to At-Attan, and obviously whatever's there, that's the great treasure, then I'll get it when I take you back. And the minute he learned it was the mint, he was like, screw you guys, I'm off.
Yeah, bye kids.
Yeah.
That's more treasure than you guys are worth. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, and like I said, there's 2 episodes left. Dropping for the next couple of weeks. So we will be back to discuss episode 7 this coming week. It'll be now, and then obviously episode 8, the finale following. Keep an eye on our social media because we'll be laying out the shows that are coming up. What If Season 3 from Marvel Animation has aired, the final season of that show. All the episodes are available. They drop daily over Christmas. So if you've watched them or if you haven't watched them yet, they're available on Disney+. We will put a show out about that very soon, wrapping that up. I've finished watching them now. I think you've still got a couple to go. So, that was an interesting show that, you know, I think all of us can agree could have possibly been done different, or it was just different how we all thought it would be.
It promised so much. Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of delivered on occasion, but not all. Yeah, it was strange. So we'll talk about that on there. There is a hell of a lot coming up this year. A hell of a lot. There's going to be all sorts of shows from us throughout the entire year, but keep an eye on the social media, like I said. If you are not on our Facebook page, do join it. What we try and do on the Facebook page is, in addition to obviously posts about our podcasts, we also put out movie news and TV news for renewals, cancellations, for movies that are up and coming, to, you know, stuff that's been announced. So keep an eye on that. We don't just restrict it to the things we talk about. We talk about all movies, all TV on there. So it's a good resource, if nothing else. Okay, that's me done. That's me plugging everything. Anything else you want to add for Skeleton Crew?
Not yet. No, I'm interested to see. I'm very intrigued in what the next 2 episodes are going to show.
I'm with you.
I have liked this a lot more than I expected to.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a fun show. Okay, everybody, you all take care. We'll be back next week.
And may the force be with you.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.